All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the love that you have shown me. We are making progress. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. In my last video, I talked about the requirements, things that you must have in order to begin to um, apply for a student visa to study in the US. Of course, that last video elicited a lot of comments and conversations, and people had all kinds of questions, which I absolutely appreciate. That's the point. The point is to be able to answer some of the questions that you have been struggling to obtain answers for. Okay? So, in this video, um, I really wanted to respond to someone who wanted to know what they could do. What is the starting point? Okay? And this video probably should have come before the other video, but I'm glad I got this question. So let's say you are one of those people, you've already made up your mind that you're going to study in the US or in abroad. It doesn't have to be US. Remember that. Whether you're going to UK, Australia, Canada, and so on, some of these things remain the same. They don't change. So let's say you've made up your mind, you want to come to the US to study. What is the first thing that you want to do? Okay, of course, you want to identify the school that you want to attend. Let's say even if you don't know the school you're interested in, let's say you want to go to Pennsylvania. Okay, it's one of the biggest states in the US. It has a lot of schools. If you even type or Google schools in universities in Pennsylvania, you will see universities like University of Pennsylvania. You will see Temple University. You will see Drexel University. You will see um, Thomas Jefferson University, right? You will see Lincoln University. There are so many of them. Even if you want to attend community college, the same thing. So you settle for the school that you're interested in, okay? Then what do? You identify the deadline. Okay, this is critical. The reason this is important. The reason this is important is the deadline of the school informs you on what next you're going to do. You're going to have to package your application around their deadline. Okay? So once you identify the deadline, when you need to submit your application, then the next thing you need to do is to register for testing. So just like you come out of high school, in Africa we call it secondary school, and you want to go to a university in Nigeria, what do? What do you do? You're gonna have to sit for JAMB. Okay, the same thing applies to any university in the U.S. You're gonna have to sit for testing. And that if this is your first time attending a university, you're gonna write what we call the SAT. Okay, is the Scholastic Assessment Test. Is your JAMB equivalent. Okay, another test you're gonna probably have to write is the TOEFL exam, which is test of English as a foreign language. Okay, and this is why deadline is important. When you know the deadline, you're gonna have to tailor your studying and your testing around the deadline. And of course, you can still submit your application before you find out what your SAT score is. Okay, that's another conversation in and of itself. So you know the deadline of the school, you register for testing, you start studying. The next thing you need to do is your personal statement. And this is critical. Okay? Americans love your personal statement. Okay? We call it back home, we call it essay. But they want to know whom they are admitting. Okay, they want to hear your story. Who are you? And it can't just be a regurgitation of peripheral information about you. It has to be a story. I have to read it, and if I come in a crowd of 100 people, your statement is capable of making you stand out. Okay? I should be able to pick you out of 100 people after reading your personal statement. And I'll make a video on that and let you know how you can write a top level personal statement and somebody reading it will be absolutely wowed. Then the next thing you want to do is you need to request a letter of recommendation from your teachers. Okay? Again, that is important. Not only do they want to hear your story, they also want to hear some attestation from people about you. What do people think about you? What do your professors think about you? It cannot come from a family member. It's not coming from your friends. It has to come, in this case, it has to come from your professors, your academic advisors, people who really know you professionally and can attest to your person. Then the next thing you want to request is your transcript. Again, this one is very important. Okay? I know back home the system is a little slow, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but we know what the truths are. But you want to make enough time to request your transcript. I remember when I was requesting my transcript, it was almost a fight. Okay, one, you have to give them enough time. Because again, the system is slow. So you want to give them enough time to be able to get you what you want and get it to you accordingly. And the thing with transcript is they're not going to send it to you. You're going to have to make provision for them to send it to your school. So it takes a lot of time. It is time that you're up against. So that's why I think this video is going to be particularly helpful, because it gives you an outline, right? A step-by-step approach of how you want to begin this process. So whichever one you accomplish, you put a check mark on it, right? And once you have this outline, it's a guide. It allows you to see what time frame. Okay? So you need to request your transcript as early as possible to allow your school enough time to put the information together and send it to school. And they're going to mail it, probably. Some schools might do electronic, but either way, it takes a lot of time. All right? So just to recap, you have identified the deadline, you have identified the school you want to attend, the state you want to travel to, California, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Houston, whatever, Texas, whatever your choice is, right? Then you identify the deadline. Then you register for the exam, which is the SAT. If you're going to college, if this is your first time of attending university. Next, you get your personal statement. Next, letter of recommendation. Next, you request your transcript. And finally, you are going to have to submit your application. And this is where I need you to do a little bit of research and find out the school you want to attend, if they have application fee, and how do you pay it. I can tell you for sure that most American colleges or universities have application fee. Some can be waived depending on your financial situation, but it's imperative for you to find that out and how you're going to pay it. Because if they need an application fee and you didn't submit that application fee, your application can be sitting there. Okay? So that's it on this. If you have any question, any concern, get in touch with me, get in contact with me. I'll be more than happy to delineate some of the areas that you still have questions. Do follow my YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. I'm constantly churning out this information to make this process much easier for you. All right. Again, I really appreciate you guys for your support.